Hey guys, I'm back with another action figure review for you today, and this one is the Batman Reborn Two Face Batman. This is a DC Direct figure released in Series 1 of the Batman Reborn figures in August of 2010, and he is really cool looking. So this is another one of my boyfriend's figures, and he just picked it up today, actually, at our local comic book shop. They have a lot of older figures, and we go in, every week or so, and even though the figures are usually the same, except for like the newer figures that they get in, whenever they're released. So we kind of see the same figures over and over again, and this is one he's looked at every time and gone like, why haven't I bought this yet? Like, I really want it. So today was payday, and he decided to pick it up. He grabbed it for 18 bucks. It was new in the package, and I imagine has been sitting on the shelf for ages now. And it actually goes for upwards of like 45, 50 bucks on eBay and Amazon, even a little more sometimes. So it's just one of those things where it's like it's really fortunate that he found it in our local comic book shop, like, regular retail value pretty much. So really cool. I will show you the package. It's just a blister, clear blister with the image on it, and then there is a Bat logo card like in the plastic up here. But then there was an insert. So it says Batman Reborn. This was behind the figure in the package, so it's just Cityscape. Batman Reborn Series 1 action figures. DC Direct logo. And then the back, so this is the back of the package, this was the back of the package. This shows the rest of the wave, and it gives you descriptions of all of them. So we have the Two Face Batman, obviously, Jason Todd Batman, Azrael, and Stephanie Brown Batgirl. So an interesting wave, and obviously these are all from the Reborn story arc of Batman. So this is really cool. And then it opens up, and on the inside, just zoom out for you. You can see just some other DC Direct figures that have been offered. We have Detective Comics box set, the Blackest Night figures, and the Superman New Krypton figures. So a pretty neat little insert. But yeah, so this is actually a really cool figure from DC Direct, and this whole wave. I mean, I'm not positive about Batgirl or Azrael, but I do know Jason Todd is one of the few DC Direct figures to have an ab crunch, and I believe he also has a waist swivel. Two-Face has a waist swivel. Where I'm going with this is that this wave has an interesting articulation for DC Direct figures, so that's cool. But let me show you. He does come with a figure stand, which I do have him on. Let's see if he can stand without it. He's a little difficult to stand. There you go. But the figure stand is just this small, round, black stand. And as you could, I don't think you notice it. It's about the size of his foot. And so, I actually really like this. If I were to ever need a figure stand, this would be the one I'd want to use, because it works well enough that it makes him stand better, but you barely notice it because it's right under the foot. And I also tested it with another figure to see if it could hold up a figure on one foot, and it worked really well. So I'm planning on somehow kind of making my own of this. I don't know how. I'll probably use, I was thinking of maybe using just like a quarter for a base, because it's a little bigger than a quarter. It's like half dollar size probably. I don't have any of those. So I was going to try a quarter, and then basically to make the peg, probably just do rolled up paper. If you just roll a paper really, really tightly and then try and get it, roll it to fit it in the peg hole until it fits, and then glue it onto the quarter, or whatever I choose to use as a base. So anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent, but a really cool figure stand. Even though it's just plain black, it's just a good size. I really like that. He also comes with a gun, as you can see, so I will show you that before we go into the figure. It's just a, pistol or whatever. But it's nice because it has a nice detail. It has the handle is painted brown, and it has little rivets, so painted silver. And the gun itself is just I'm sorry. Hold on a sec. I didn't adjust my lighting before filming, I'm sorry guys. So the gun is like, it's not really, it's not metallic, but it's just, you know, basically gunmetal gray. But it's nice, I really like that. You know, it's a good thickness, and it has good detail. So, yeah. But now let's get on to the figure, which is obviously the part you're waiting for. He is a really nice figure, I have to say. The only downside I really have, there's two downsides, but I will get to them, but the first I already said is he's a little difficult to stand without the figure stand. And even with the figure stand, you can't really get him into too many poses, because he's still, you know, even though he has a waist swivel, that's cool, but it's still limited in articulation because he's DC Direct. But anyway, so let's just give you some close-up shots with detail. So this is the face sculpt. Looks really cool. So you have on one side Harvey Dent, and the other side burned up Harvey Dent. So the whole figure is in this red and purpley. It's actually blue. Now I'm looking at it. I thought it was supposed to be red and purple. I thought the artwork of this was red and purple, but maybe I'm wrong, because this is actually blue that I'm looking at it in the light. It's like a navy blue. And so it's cool. The red is all matte finish, well, except for the rubber cape. And all of the navy blue is glossy, except for the boot and glove. So that's neat. It's a nice play on texture. It's not really texture, I guess. Just, is it? I don't know. But you know what I mean. So that's nice. And then the only other two colors other than, you know, skin tone are the gold belt buckle, which I think is interesting. Not all art that depicts this character in the series shows him with a gold belt buckle. Some show him with where the buckle is blue on the right side and red on the left side, so it's contrasting with the rest of his suit, which I kind of like. I don't particularly like the gold buckle because it's kind of this big rectangle, and it's like a little distracting from the already cool aspect of the colors of the figure. Oh, and then there's black for the bat symbol on the left, which I think is a little strange because it's red on this side to contrast with the blue, so why isn't this blue? And then there's also the silver coin, which I forgot is another color, obviously. But, yeah, so let's take a look at that. It's nicely sculpted. I mean, it has even little detail on it. And it's, you know, it looks like he's about to just flip it. So that's cool. Painted nicely. So yeah, just give me another quick look at the face, I'm sorry. It's a really nicely sculpted head. From, you know, the detail in this to even just how the bat ears are kind of farther spread apart than Bruce's. The cape around the neck is this, it's kind of a ring. Bat symbol is just painted on, not sculpted. He's got these spikes in his right upper arm, and they actually are sharp. I mean, they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna cut my skin or anything, but they're like, if I press on them, they're pretty sharp. But yeah, gauntlets. So his right hand is in the trigger finger, left is holding the coin. The belt is actually pliable around certain, like you can kind of move these pouches. Not really, like you can feel them though. And this part is really kind of flimsy, which is cool. You kind of, it's a tactile experience if you're touching the figure and you're like, oh, this is actually a separate piece. That's really cool. It's not all just like a block of plastic or, you know, whatever. The cape is very soft, very thin, pliable rubber. I really like it. I think this is probably one of my favorite capes I've seen on a figure because I've always liked the rubber capes over the cloth capes simply because I think they look, for some reason I think they look more finished on a figure. I'm not quite sure why, but I don't know. But they also have downsides because they're stiff. They can't really move if you want to make the figure sitting or something, and they get dirtier. But this one makes, I feel like this one's so pliable that, like, if he, you know, if I were to try and get him to sit, which, there we go. Yeah, see, he could, basically, he could sit on this. But yet it's a rubber cape, so it's really, it looks nice like the other rubber capes, in my opinion. And it's nicely sculpted, nicely painted. And it also has a very distinct smell, which reminded me of some dolls I had when I was younger, but that's a whole nother story. So, yeah. Let me just show you the detail of the belt up close. He does have pouches on the blue side, and the cylindrical capsules on the right side, the red side. Red and right side. Boots are just very finely sculpted, and they match the color of the leg. So nothing, you know, too exciting there. They are both matte finish, so it's nice against the glossy on the side. Yeah, so that's pretty much, I mean, let me just show you another shot of some close-up shots here. That's pretty much it for the sculpting details and paint apps. It's very nice, very nicely done. He's got his stamped info on his back of his leg. Made in China. Yeah. Really great looking figure. So I'm just going to go through articulation. Ooh, my bad. Hitting my lamps. So, and there you can see his head goes around 360. I didn't even intend to do that. It does not go up at all. So if you kind of see how it is right now, like this is part of his posability issue. Is this was the second issue I had when I stated I had two. So he's kind of always looking like that. Like this is as far up as he can look. But he can look down. I don't really know when you would use this, but looking up is more important, I think, and I don't know why he doesn't. So that's a little weird. But I mean, you can have him kind of looking on an angle like this, and then it looks a little more like, oh, okay. It makes him kind of look like he's almost looking up, even though he's not. Or you could have him, you know, dramatically looking down with only half of his face showing. Really kind of cool. Anyway, the arms go up pretty much like all the way. I mean, as much as the cape is gonna. Well, that's about it. And they are very stiff because. And they go in all the way. Very stiff. DC Direct, I find, is like that often. But has a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbows that move. Those move nice and smooth. And he has a glove swivel. How cool is that? It's kind of funny though because his forearms are sculpted actually rather naturally. I find is as in, you know, human arms we're kind of you know, one way we're long, we're wider, and then when you turn your arm sideways, it's thinner. I don't know how to. I know that sounds dumb and common sensey, but I'm just trying to explain what I mean in that this is natural. It looks like that. When his hand is turned sideways, it looks slimmer, and this way it's wider. And so the issue with that is that when you do the glove swivel, he's got this funny, you know, area where it's just like you can see, obviously, our arms don't do that. So a little weird, but nice to have, nonetheless. Because if you want to just do slight twist, it's not very noticeable. So it's cool. So obviously the same on both arms. So no ab crunch, but he does have a waist swivel, as I said, which is not common with DC Direct figures. But it makes total sense because he's wearing a belt. You don't even see it. You know, why not put the waist swivel there is what I always say. So very nice to have that. Nice and smooth. DC Direct is capable. The legs go forward and a little bit back. But as I also find with DC Direct figures, they typically don't go very far back. And they do not go out at all, like Mattel figures. The knees, single knees. And no ankle articulation. The boots are sculpted to have these, you know, wrinkles in them and all that. So, yeah, I also wanted to add the cape is not attached in the back like in the Mattel figures, and I think some DC Direct figures even, where they have that sort of peg in the back. So you can pull this cape all the way up, and it's basically just it's just glued around this ring in the front, and a little bit on the shoulders maybe, but it actually lifts up here too, so, you know, you could potentially, like, just cut this cape off if you wanted to use it, you know, as a custom or something. I don't know, because I think it's a really nice cape, but it's, I mean, this figure is not cheap, so. But yeah, I do like that. I like the freedom in moving the cape and everything, so that's cool. Another reason I like the cape. But yeah, this review has gone on quite long. So I will wrap it up. But yeah, definitely a really nice figure, and I totally recommend him. If you're, you know, a fan of the storyline, or Harvey Dent, or you know, you want literally every Batman that ever existed, even if it's not Bruce. I mean, he is a very cool figure, and very nice work by DC Direct on this guy. I mean, they always have very nice figures, in my opinion. Most of their figures are, you know, winners, but have had some poor experiences, but nonetheless. Anyway, he is awesome, and as you can see, he's hard to pose. I'm gonna lean him against the wall so I can just talk and concentrate on that. So yeah, definitely recommend him. Yeah, my boyfriend and I were talking about possibly, you know, getting, like, all the, you know, the kind of Batman Reborn figures, kind of going for, like, a Battle for the Cowl theme, and having all the different kind of Batman, people that vied for Batman's position, because that would be fun, but not sure. That's down the line, probably, but yeah, definitely cool. Definitely check out the rest of the line if you like him, and thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this went on really, really long, but I'll catch you in future reviews, guys. Thanks again for watching. Bye.